Everybody has a story. For most Afghan refugees, their story starts with the question, how did you make it out alive? What was the thing you had to bring with you? And how are you coping with life in a new country? I wanted to help with that last question. In the last year, there have been roughly 1,200 newly arrived migrants from Afghanistan to the Charlotte area. These refugees have struggled to access food and hygiene items we use daily. Sometimes we can take these things for granted. However, Afghans have been denied a peaceful life. Being a refugee is not a choice. You can't expect someone to stay in a country where they must risk their life daily just to go to school or work. This is why it is important that we help newly arrived refugees find a new home and access to simple things like toothbrushes, toothpaste, shampoo, conditioner, and body soap. The things we take for granted and often waste. Some of you may be unaware of other countries and don't even know what happened in Afghanistan. This is why I also want to introduce a World Culture Day. But then I realized that one day wasn't really going to make a difference. Current events like this need to be taught in schools, and it can take years to break the cycle of students being uneducated about global affairs. We can't only worry about what's happening in America. We must educate ourselves about the rest of the world. It is important that we, from a position of privilege, help people like Afghan refugees that have to worry about whether they'll be able to eat or not, whether they'll be safe at school or work, where they are actually put in the scenario of bringing one last thing and beginning the process of coping with life in a new country. So what did I do? With the Student Diversity Council, I held a drive to collect more than 100 useful items in my community. These are everyday items to us, but sometimes they can be everything for someone else. A small act of kindness can provide a moment of relief or comfort for someone else who has been displaced from their homes. Having access to these items can make immigrants feel empowered and feel less alone. It can also inspire them to heal from their trauma and live out their new lives in a more meaningful manner. Additionally, the Student Diversity Council and Interact Club held a competition to collect change amongst classes, collecting close to $1,200 for Carolina Refugee Resettlement Agency to assist newly resettled Afghan refugees in Charlotte, and the Polish Red Cross for Ukrainian refugees currently in Poland. And the Interact Club fundraised and made $1,000 in donation to the Save the Children Ukraine Relief Fund, providing aid to children affected by war, and Samaritan's Purse, a North Carolina-based charity working to provide shelter and aid to refugees affected by war. All of this work has given our students a newfound awareness of what is happening in our world. Instead of stereotyping one group or another, we're learning to embrace each other and make a world where everyone can feel accepted. Unity is the key to sustaining a peaceful and prosperous world. Thank you.